Most lawyers guess at what a TBI case is worth. I stopped guessing 100 cases ago. I spent 15 years practicing one area of law, TBI litigation. I spent the last 7 writing the book. It's called The Ernst Way, the definitive guide to TBI litigation. Every case I tried, every depo I sat through, every witness at trial, what worked and what didn't. 15 years of depth down to a single question. How do you prove what a brain injury costs a human life?
You have them do a supplemental report, or it's a different expert. It happens all the time. As much as you think it's like a truth problem or a credibility problem, your expert has like 50 things they're going to talk about, and they're only going to talk about 20, and then at the time of trial they're going to forget some, or you're going to say that's not important anymore, and they're going to talk about like 10. So what it is I like to think all the things you need to do at trial, well, I like to think this is literally what we do. There'll be 25 things. And especially with TBI cases, the education you have to do the jury is very high. And so you have to make sure that they understand you can have a brain injury without a CT scan, and you can have a brain injury without an MRI positive finding. And Glasgow Coma Scale doesn't mean anything, and you can still be conscious. Like, there's a giant list of things the jury needs to understand so you don't just lose, right? And you can number them 1 through whatever. Your thing is, well, they missed item 13, right? Who cares if that's not that expert? Because the way you do trial is you basically fill up the boxes. Like every day there'll be like, I don't know, 3 witnesses. And then this day there'll be 2 witnesses. And this day there'll be this witness or whatever. And then the numbers are different depending on what you're trying to do throughout the trial. Does that make sense? Yeah. And so if your expert like misses the dizziness, and you can say, hey, I'm going to be crossed on that, and just prep the expert. Hey, if they say, hey, why didn't you put dizziness in the report? And they'd be like, well, you know, I talked to them again after this, and they complained of this. There's a way to get information to them after the report. I call it landmines, and we do it in every single case. We actually build a giant column of all the things we think the defense is going to argue, and where we can absolutely F them up when they do stupid stuff at trial based off the fact that they are trying to be disingenuous. And so, like, I don't know, pick the symptom. What is the symptom that they missed?
Dizziness, for example.
Great. It's
in no medical records. Clients have been complaining about it all the time to you. And then treaters don't even ask about it.
What treater was it? What kind of treater?
Well, I'm giving you an example. Yeah, let's say a Kaiser doctor.
Oh, well, there you go.
They always sorry. They always depose the Kaiser doctor, right, and say like, well, he never complained to you about dizziness, right?
And if they would have, would you write it down? It's you have your witness talk about it. Hey, did you talk about the Kaiser doctor? Oh, you know, my main focus of whatever I was doing was, what is the truth? Like, they will generally go to the doctor because they have one thing that they're upset about. And even then, there's a way you can do direct or cross that. What is the history of present illness? And they'll have like the primary complaint. I'm like, the primary complaint's this, so that's what you're focused on. Like, there's a way that you can set up the dizziness. The other thing you can do is depending on how you organize your trial, you kind of put the witnesses where you think you need to put them to try and minimize the chances that there's going to be a credibility problem with one of them. But man, the number of times I've been in trial where like I have an ER doc that the client went in and their only complaint was like left side arm pain, and it's a TBI case, and I'm crossing the ER doc. We end up doing that. And you're just like, oh, good Lord. Well, isn't it true you're just acute care? And isn't it true that your job is to make sure they don't die? And you're doing a CT scan to rule out a bleed, but they can develop stuff later. Do you do MRIs? No. MRIs, primary way to diagnose brain injury if there's objective findings? Yeah. You don't do MRIs there? No. Why not? Because, well, we're trying to make sure that they're acute care. So your job is to be complete. But how much time did you spend with this patient? 5 minutes? And, you know, did you ask them about dizziness? It says here they would have said dizziness, but do you remember? Oh, I don't remember. It's just whatever's in the records. Did you fill that out, or did somebody else fill out? Is it a checkbox or not? Do you know if that, like, there's so many different ways that you can focus on that or do it, versus the other thing is, let's say dizziness, you don't make it a big problem in the trial till like day 4. And the defense sometimes just like won't cross on it. Sometimes they will. But then day 4, she gets up and tells a story about the one I use the most often when I'm giving lectures is if you're like, yeah, the client has dizziness problems. You don't have your spouse say the client has dizzy problems. That's backwards, and you're inversing what you should do. Because if I say to you guys, hey, the client has dizzy problems, do you have any idea what I'm talking about from a specific story? No, and so you have trouble categorizing it. So watch me do this, all right? Let's say the wife gets on the stand and goes, hey, what's one of your big complaints about your husband now? Oh my God, I can't stand it. I had to go buy one of those magic stick erasers because every Saturday I walk down the hall and have to scrub the hall. Why do you do that? Because there's Cheeto dust on the hallway going down the thing. Why? I don't know. The doctors say it's dizzy problems. Do you see? It's the same case. And all of a sudden, every juror has this really strong memory when the defense expert gets up and goes, I don't think he has dizzy problems. So you're like, what about the Cheeto dust? Like, what are you talking about? Like, even as you sit here now, you're like, that guy's full of shit. And you know nothing about the case. Like, do you see what I'm saying? And so we do the wrong order because it's easy, because that's what we read in the medical records and that's what we index off of. And so we're like, oh, we should talk about dizziness. Dizziness is not the problem. Dizziness is where the doctor documents a story in a really shitty way. You don't know what the story is, then you need to go find the story. Do you see how it's a credibility issue? And like, the doctor does the thing in 5 minutes versus that's one dizziness story. If you have 7, they're not going to care what the ER doc says.
Let's raise the bar together. I'm Taylor Ernst. Thanks for watching.